This is a Jmix exclusive.
How did you get involved with the Source Awards?
The Source Awards, well, I was working in New York on Def Comedy Jam, and my very dear friend Chris Latimer, he knew the guys at the Source very well, Dave Mays and Michael, what's Michael's last name? Can't remember his last name. And he said we had a meeting and we talked about it and we got it done. I had no idea who Dave Mays was or the Source magazine or the enormity of those shows at the time, to tell you the truth. And we had a good time. We had a really good time. I'm sorry, Michael Elliott and Dave Mays. That's what it was, Michael Elliott and Dave Mays. It was a good time. It was a crazy show, but we had a good time.
Both these years in 94, 95, they met with incidents that made headlines. Ironically, both incidents involved either Tupac or Death Row. Were you there for the Out on Bail performance where by accident he interrupted Q-Tip's speech?
I was, as a matter of fact. I was a producer of that show, and it was by accident that he came out. If you ever attended a Tupac concert, he didn't have introductions. It wasn't like next up, here's Tupac Shakur. He just hit the dat and he came out and did his thing. That was a production snafu. There was nothing intended by it, towards Tribe Called Quest. I do believe in, even that night they talked about it and it squashed it. And I think in years following, they also, they were on good terms. That there was no harm intended.
So there wasn't a malignant atmosphere when that happened.
Not at all. Not at all. Again, someone hit a button. Tupac came out. That's hip hop.
In the 95 awards, Suge Knight made his famous quote. Did you realize at the time the impact of what was being said?
I had no idea that would have evolved into what it became. And as a producer and director, for me, it was just, extra time in the show that should have been cut out. It really had no place in the final broadcast because the show was long. That could have been easily, taken out of the show. History is made on mistakes, and that is unfortunate history that's made on that mistake. I mean, it sold magazines and it drove the ratings up, but that was somewhat uncalled for. I mean, it was the West Coast on East Coast soil, creating a ruckus. I don't think anyone expected it. You're walking in the door. That was what they're walking into. I think everyone in the theater, attended the show just to enjoy themselves. I don't think anyone, walked in and said, okay, it's going to be a feud tonight. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Everyone generally wanted to have a good time. It definitely wasn't scripted. What I remember most is Snoop attempting to reconcile with the crowds that, it's about the music. And the same with Puffy. They both went out of their way to make the point known, make the music for everybody. It wasn't about East Coast, West Coast. It was about hip-hop for everyone. That's what I remember the most about that evening.
During the filming of the Source Awards, had you already had a relationship with Death Row Records, or was it something completely different?
Actually, I was fortunate enough to help produce Snoop and Dre's Soul Train Award performance. I'm almost maybe a year prior. They came out on, Let Me Ride and all that. So I kind of knew, I knew Suge. I knew Dre back from We Want Easy. But as far as Death Row is concerned, we worked together on the Soul Train Awards. And, strangely enough, I actually went to a D'Angelo concert while I was working on the Soul Train Awards and saw Dre. and we struck up a conversation, and he asked me a question. Basically, are you still doing videos? I'm like, sure, why not? And come to my house tomorrow. I got a video for you, and that's how California Love came about. And maybe 2-3 days later, I met Tupac over at Smashbox Studios, and we talked about briefly what the concept was, and kept it moving. He wasn't a man of a lot of words when it came to work, and we struck a great relationship, and we understood each other very well, and that was it.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
What up, shut up?